From November of 2010 to December of 2012, the ticker symbol BBY dropped a staggering 75%. If you had 1,000 shares of this company, that would amount to a devastating loss of $34,630. So what happened? In January of 1941, a man named Richard Schultz was born, who would later partner with James Wheeler to become the founder of Best Buy. Best Buy was founded in 1966 in the founder's hometown of St. Paul, Minnesota. Originally called Sound of Music, the store specialized in selling audio equipment. The duo was successful right off the bat and quickly began expanding throughout the region. It would later be rebranded to Best Buy, but not before a natural disaster opened the founders' eyes to new possibilities. On the fateful day of June 14, 1981, a tornado devastated the suburbs of Minnesota, and in its pathway was the Sound of Music store in Roseville. The tornado tore through the building and scattered the store's inventory, including turntables, VCRs, receivers, and speakers throughout the vicinity. If you don't know what a VCR is, it is a device that plays VHS tapes. And if you don't know what a VHS tape is, it's what people watched movies on at home back in the day. The event was described by Schultz as the worst thing that could happen to us. But using his entrepreneurial optimism to see opportunity rather than misfortune, he then added it was also the best thing that could happen to us. The creative entrepreneur would later enact what became known as the tornado sale. The idea was simple. They would sell all the damaged products as is and include in this sale marked down open box items, discontinued equipment, and overstocked goods. This sale had never been done before and could result in absolute failure. But the risk turned out to be a huge hit with people gathering in the parking lot to get the best buy, and best of all, everything was gone by the end of the day. This experience led to the rebranding of the company to Best Buy, with a business model of having customers come into the store to physically handle products. As the years went on, the expanding company started selling home appliances and by 1993 had recorded a $1.6 billion in sales. A little known fact about Best Buy is that seeing as the VHS tapes and VCRs were booming business in the 1980s with revenue surpassing sales in movie theaters, the company tried its hand in video rentals in 1987, but eventually stopped in 1990. Following the 2008 financial crisis, many of Best Buy's competitors filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but with the rise of emerging competitors, the company was headed towards another disaster. In the month of November of 2010, the company's stock reached a high of $45.63 that month before it began its descent. The following month, when the company announced its quarterly earnings, the stock fell 15% when they missed their estimates and lowered its full-year outlook. Analysts attributed this miss to online competition. Many were saying that online retailer Amazon would finish off the struggling Best Buy, and that the expansion of Apple stores would also contribute to their demise. Apple was in the process of re-imaging their Apple stores, which rose to boast the highest sales per square foot of any retailer. This didn't help Best Buy's business at all. Best Buy, on the other hand, was implementing the Connected World strategy, in which they would focus less on selling stuff and more on helping people use technology to build connections in their lives. The approach came more as a way to protect market share rather than improve profits. Proved to be a failure. Customer service complaints ranged from unhelpful floor staff not understanding products to having their online orders canceled right before Christmas. This strategy did not help failing sales numbers, as the company later announced the closing of 50 stores. They also canceled their expansion into the European market, which they started back in 2010 in the UK. Their expansion plan was poorly researched in that the European market was not used to big box stores, and the renting of large space was considerably more expensive. To add more fuel to the fire, after an internal investigation of then CEO Brian Dunn resigned in April 2012 due to an alleged inappropriate relationship with a female staff member. This also led to Richard Schultz, the founder, to also resign as chairman of the board due to knowing about the relationship. Best Buy would find a new CEO just before the stock fell to $11.20 by the end of that same year. About a 75% fall from a $45.63 value just over 2 years ago. The electronic retail company needed to bring in someone who would pull off one of the biggest turnarounds in retail history. Hubert Joly resigned from hotel conglomerate Carlson Companies to become the new CEO of Best Buy. The Frenchman was not well known by Wall Street, and it took several months just to search and recruit him. Many analysts doubted him, seeing as a jump from hospitality to electronic retail made no sense. Under his leadership, he first analyzed Best Buy's strengths and weaknesses and initiated a transformation strategy called Renew Blue that focused on solving two problems: negative margins and negative comps. One weakness was that the company was not the leader in the lowest prices offered, and most customers agreed they fell behind competitors like Walmart and Target. To combat this shortcoming, the company implemented a lowest price match guarantee. But this alone was not enough. Doing that alone would just cause a price war. The company also needed to play to its strengths and do something that no other competitor could do. A key competitive advantage over online retailers was the showroom at the big box stores, having customers working with competent floor staff and buying at the lowest possible price in one continual experience. Hubert stated, "We believe that price competitiveness is table stakes. The way we want to win is around the advice, convenience, and service." The Renew Blue approach also made improvements to the Geek Squad, product selection, and with online delivery of products that included the recycling of old electronics, keeping them out of landfills. From the lows at the end of 2012 to almost a year later, 1,000 shares of the stock would have profited $33,460. That is over a 300% growth. Through these changes, Best Buy's financials began to turn around, with sales growing in the first 2 quarters of 2015 and improvements in the gross margins. The transition of a new CEO was a great success for Best Buy, who was able to turn a failing company without a moat around. Today, Best Buy is alive and doing well in the market. Their stock is up, aided by the market crash of 2020 that kept people at home, causing online sales to triple. It has also been in one of the top 10% of the S&P 500 from a shareholder total return standpoint. Their dividends have more than tripled since Hubert took the reins. A huge benefit to the founder, Richard Schultz, who has a net worth of $2.4 billion today, though he is no longer involved in the operations of the company. The company has completed the Renew Blue strategy and moved on to a new approach called Best Buy 2020. A component of the plan revolves around smart home technology. The idea is to have a specialist come to the customer's home for free and give input on what technologies will improve the livelihood of the home based on their needs. This helps foster personal relationships even if the customer does not buy anything, and spreads the service by word of mouth. The service is particularly appealing to seniors who have a hard time getting to the stores. Best Buy also has a number of well-known in-house brands, Insignia and Modal. Hubert Joly has since stepped down as CEO to become executive chairman in 2019, but stepped down as chairman to teach at Harvard Business School and has remained as an advisor to his successor, Corey Barry. After years of hard work to prove his naysayers wrong, Hubert used his hospitality experience to say, "We don't see ourselves as a brick-and-mortar retailer. We see ourselves as a company that obsesses with the customers in a way that truly solves their unique problems." What do you think about Hubert Joly as a leader? How are you going to use this example to recognize a revolutionary CEO and invest in a company, or use his philosophy to save your own company? Leave a comment down below.